And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, I'm going to be talking about Team USA and, just the expectations and everything else about Team USA, any sort of opinions that I have lingering about Team USA, this, that, and the other. And I mean, look, this is supposed to be, a lot of people thought that these games, they were going to be a cakewalk for Team USA and their exhibition games, but it wasn't entirely a cakewalk. The projected average point differential between the United States and every other team that they went up against was 20, right? But it turned out that they ended up winning each game by an average of 10. Which is obviously, when you consider it as 10 points less than what people previously anticipated it, that's not really looking that good. I'm not even going to lie. There were moments where I was afraid that Team USA was not going to be able to, deliver on the flawlessness. Because one of the things that really stood out when talking about 2008's Olympic team and obviously 2012's Olympic team was the fact that these teams, they remained flawless throughout the entirety that they were formed, right? From start to finish, there has never been a single time where they lost a game, especially when Kobe Bryant was on the roster. They have never lost a game with Kobe Bryant on the roster, and they also they've never really been in that close of a game with Kobe on the roster. Obviously, there are some exceptions. There are some exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, they never come close to losing. So, but even though, even aside from the low expectation, the incredibly high expectations, it's not like the United States hasn't been dominating in these games. So, this is going to be their 5th consecutive gold medal if they end up winning in Paris. And they ended up landing in Paris, I should mention that myself. And they're also going to continue on with the rituals. LeBron's going to bear the flag, finally. And they've been placed in Group C. Now, I haven't really talked about their grouping. I talked about it just a little bit. They're going to play Serbia, South Sudan, and Puerto Rico. So they haven't played of all the teams that they in their group, Puerto Rico is the only one which they have not played against. They played against Serbia. They ended up blowing them out, surprisingly. And then they also played against South Sudan, and they only won by 1 point against the players on South Sudan. And the only reason why they won by that 1 point was because of LeBron winning the game in the end for Team USA. So they're going to kick off their first game on July 28th at 11:15 a.m. And this will be on Sunday. So, yeah, be sure to tune into that. And it's going to be, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be watching this game. I'm not going to watch it live. I will actually, wait, no, it's on Sunday. I probably will watch it live. Never mind. I had plans on Saturday, so I was not sure if I was going to be able to. I don't know why I read Saturday on that. That's my bad. So, hopefully, Kevin Durant is going to be just fine for this game. And, because that is the one question that a lot of people are having, just Kevin Durant's status and whether or not Kevin Durant is going to be able to play for Team USA and, actually play competently, considering how, implementing Kevin Durant and implementing someone as important as Kevin Durant into the roster is going to be something that I think is going to be a little difficult because, you're used to playing all of these other players and their minutes. Now you have to squeeze in a small forward / power forward that's most likely going to take up a majority of the minutes because he's arguably the best player in USA's history. In Team USA basketball's history, if Melo wins this gold medal, If KD wins this gold medal, I think he's going to be ranked higher on the Olympics list than Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony, as an Olympian, is arguably one of the best players that the basketball world has ever seen. Like, he was phenomenal for Team USA. And as phenomenal as Carmelo Anthony was, Kevin Durant has always been phenomenal for Team USA. And again, you don't win 4 gold medals for nothing. Yes, he has 4 of them, which is ridiculous. But not to mention Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, he's also going to be pretty difficult to exchange minutes when you have Bam and Joel out there. Now, all 12 players, they are now obviously, trying to bring their country to win their 17th overall gold medal. Steph Curry especially is looking forward to actually playing in the Olympics. This is the first time that he's playing in the Olympics and competing to win the gold medal. That isn't for FIBA, right? Like, this is his first Olympic showcase. So, Curry said, I'm looking forward to playing with some of the best players in the world, against some of the best players in the world, and also supporting other athletes around the country, around the world as well. Nevertheless, with the talent from the world's top basketball league now distributed across various national teams, right? Like Germany, they have NBA players. Serbia has an NBA player. And the French have a lot of NBA players. Canada also has NBA players. It's like the gold medals, like the window to win them, it's not really that easy. And the competition is really tough. Like, it's not an assured, it's not a guaranteed win, and it's not as guaranteed as people are making it out. I mean, I'm still personally terrified of the French national team. Victor Wembanyama just scares me, and the fact that he's paired with Rudy Gobert, and the fact that they don't have to worry about a 3 seconds is just terrifying. Like, that is very, very scary, thinking of a lineup where Victor and Rudy don't have to worry about 3 seconds. That's horrifying to think about. So, obviously, Serbia, the match between Serbia is going to be on the 28th, if I've already mentioned that. And it'll obviously be played in the stadium that they have in Pierre Mauroy, in the stadium in Lille, I think it is. Forgive me if I've completely botched that name. I have no idea how you pronounce these cities, but one of the biggest problems that I think is going to affect Team USA is the fact that the French national team, not only do they have Victor and Rudy and a pretty good squad, they also have a very, very fruity home field advantage. Like, that home field advantage is beautiful. Like, they're playing directly in their home, and I'm 90% sure that everyone in France knows about Victor Wembanyama. Again, I'm 90% sure. Not entirely sure, but I'm very, very sure that everyone knows about Victor Wembanyama, and I'm very sure that a lot of French fans are going to pop out to watch these games, and partly because, they want to see some of the United States athletes, but also because they want to see Victor and they want to cheer for Victor because, he is from their home. So it's like, why wouldn't they cheer for the player at home? It sounds like it could be a really bad home field advantage. Now, let me see. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the rest of the teams that are playing. So they play Serbia first. Then after going up against Serbia, they're going to play against South Sudan on the 31st. And then on the 3rd, they're going to play Puerto Rico. So a little bit of a gap between the 31st and the 3rd of August, to be playing this. And all of these games, most of them, they're going to be on NBC because, NBC, I believe they always showcase the Olympics. Most of the time they always showcase the Olympics. And those are the only 3 games that the Olympic team, they get to play. Like, after those 3 games, they're going to be done with the group phases, and then they're going to move on to the knockout phases where they're going to compete against teams that have already made it past the group phases, right? Like, that's how the thing is going. That's how the thing is going to go. And having only those 3 games, it means that like you can't afford to have many mistakes. Like that's going to be, they have to hope to God that the turnovers aren't going to be as bad as it is, and they also have to hope to God that they're going to be all right. Like this is a win or go home type of league, so it's like you got to win all of these games to secure your spots, and that way you'll be fine going into the group phases or going out of the group phases. So that's all that I had on this third segment. So now I will go ahead and go into a short break and then go into the fourth segment where I go and look at ESPN's top 25 list again, as well as the top 100 list, and probably and talk about some of the snubs in my opinion, because I do feel like there are a lot of snubs on that list. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that list in the fourth segment, so I'll be right back. Be sure to stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.